Welcome to Studio 954. My name is Orlando Morero, and today I want to share with you some moments I've had in my life and maybe you also had in your life. Moments that you just felt like simply slapping yourself. And when I say slapping yourself, I mean like literally slapping yourself. It could be for decisions you made, decisions you didn't make, relationships you decided to enter into, relationships maybe you should have entered into, business decisions that you got into or should have not got into. It's those feelings that you get once in a while in your life where you just feel like you just made a bad choice and you feel like physically slapping yourself. Well, I tell you something, I've had those moments, and not once, but a few times. How have I dealt with those moments? It's the question, right? Because we all have had things in our life where we regret or think of what could have been, what should have been, if I should have went to the left or to the right. We all have had those moments. I can recall one moment specifically. I think it was back in, I want to say 2016, 2017 maybe. Bitcoin was first kind of brought to my attention. It was actually brought to my attention by my nephew, who at that time was in college. Obviously, the rumors during that time, with the young community, they were all talking about this opportunity, right? At first, when I heard it, I was like, what are you talking about? I don't even understand anything you're saying. But I was curious enough to entertain, right? Entertain the idea and just listen, right? And at that time, I think Bitcoin was at $500 or $600. Back in 2016, back in 2017, I mean, I was making plenty of money. So $500, $600 is no big deal, right? I probably could have maybe purchased, 30 of them, right? If I wanted to. But I didn't. And I kind of, just kind of brushed it off, but the topic kind of came back in. So I asked him to help me set up an account, right, with Coinbase. So I did set up an account and I started to kind of buy like $20 worth of Bitcoin. A few other cryptos as well, but Bitcoin was like the one that we kept talking about. So I would buy 20 bucks here, 25 bucks there, $50 here. You know what was it about that time that I simply couldn't grasp the moment, right? The opportunity. It just was kind of like foreign for me. If I think back now to that moment, that's one of the moments where I feel like kind of slapping myself, right? Because I can tell you something, many years later, I end up actually purchasing Bitcoin, and not for $500. I think my first purchase of Bitcoin probably was at $42,000 when I actually, purchased a full Bitcoin, right? I've had the opportunity to purchase it at $500, $600, $1,000, $2,000. I watched the whole thing and regret at times. I watched it go up and down and this and that, and I would buy 20 bucks, 100 bucks, maybe 300 bucks, and I just kept doing that. And then one time I just felt like, I'm so tired of like watching this thing simply go up and down, and I'm like missing out on all these things, right? I was just tired of feeling like I want to slap myself. So one day I actually happened to have money laying around and didn't really have somewhere to put it. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna buy myself one full Bitcoin at this purchase. And I pressed that button and I purchased one full Bitcoin. That's just one incident, right? I've had many other incidents that kind of doubted or held back and felt like I could have, I should have. I moved too fast and then, had regret. Like I can remember one minute when I've invested right before 2020, I invested in a burger franchise. A burger franchise. Why burgers? Because I love burgers. Why not? I saw the opportunity. $50,000 for a burger franchise. The whole thing's set up. You go, you buy the franchise, you go and you find the location, you purchase everything, you do the construction, and all of a sudden you have a franchise that's just producing money. Well, that was one of the moves that I've made, definitely at the wrong time, that I felt like slapping myself, but not in a good way. When I missed the opportunity of Bitcoin, I felt like slapping myself because I should have just moved on that. I should have taken the opportunity. I should have not doubted myself. But with the burger franchise, it was the wrong move. I've ended up spending $90,000 on renovations, $50,000 on a franchise that I didn't open. I went through all the permitting, I went through all the phases, only to find myself in 2020 saying something's going on that doesn't feel good. If I continue forward, I would simply drown myself even more. So I cut my loss of my $50,000 franchise fee, I cut my loss of that $90,000 renovation, and I called it a day. Now that didn't feel good. And I did probably slap myself when no one's looking, obviously, right? But these are moments that you have in your life. As a person like myself and many of you out there, entrepreneurs and people that just are ambitious, you know, and want to do things. Sometimes we get into things way too fast, or sometimes we don't move so fast, such as like my moment at Bitcoin, right? I should have moved faster. So the message today is not about should you slap yourself. The message is more about what did you learn from those times in your life? What did I learn? Maybe I missed the wave, you know, that was coming my way, right? But missing a wave doesn't mean that you miss the ocean, right? The ocean is huge. Within the ocean, there's wave after wave and wave after wave, right? So there's many opportunities. The question is, on that one wave that you did miss, that you do have regret, what is it about that one that you will learn? What are you gonna learn from it? How are you gonna do things different? What will you do different next time? So my message to you today is don't regret. Learn from your mistake. Learn from the missed opportunity. And instead of slapping yourself like I've done or I felt like, why don't we just study ourselves? Study our moves. The way that we think, the way that we move, the way that we could move better, the way that we should move better. So today, if you've ever been in my shoes, or maybe you are going through a situation like this, just pause, think, reflect. Don't slap yourself. Learn from your mistakes. My friend, this is Studio 954. It's a message from my heart to you. I hope that it does something for you, and I hope that you'll come back because I have another message from other experiences, not only from myself, but from people I can actually talk to, other business owners that made mistakes of their own. Maybe the mistake wasn't business. Maybe the mistake was a relationship. Maybe it was a relationship. I've made mistakes in relationships, but we're moving forward. The love of the past is in the past. The failure in that business is in the past. The victory of the business tomorrow is present and in the future. The victory in your relationship is present and in the future. So my friend, let's meet again. And I hope to see you soon here at Studio 954. Till then, I ask you one more time, stay real.